So I got this free train station by one of our curators, Enolab, and I just added it into the city of Andia. So rather than just tour it, I'll be showing you my process of how I bring it from a flat world, put it in here, and then integrate it into the cityscape. Enolab makes a lot of really cool builds, so if you do want to check out his YouTube channel, then I will put the link in the description. But it's pretty cool. So I just pasted it over top, and now I need to figure out how to fit it into the city. Tried my best to line up his curb with this curb down here. So I'm going to push it down section by section and make it fit. There is a bridge, don't mind this. This is very much a work in progress that goes over top, and that's financial district that way. And then we're gonna have the train lines that run parallel. The idea is to have the original curve here and then just take out section by section and then pull it down. Looks pretty good. So I pasted it without air, so I'm gonna have to go around and delete all this grass. There we go. Okay, so the next step, we need to do something about this curb. I'm thinking rather than keeping it on this side, we're gonna have a road that turns in here, and then maybe you can drop off people right here instead. There we go, starting to look pretty good. Now let's get these corners down onto the ground. And something we have to figure out is, since this goes up, when you go up towards the bridge, we don't really want that when we go down this way on the road. Make sure this lines up real good. Since there's no intersection right here, I'm actually gonna drop this side of the road down by 1, and then maybe it'll pop up about here or so. Now that that's in, that means I can remove this part. And now that that's out of the way and this lines up, it won't overlap, we can take this and move it down to this level. I don't think that looks too bad. Now we'll have to make a little bit of adjustments here, but that's nothing that's gonna cause too many problems. So now that this road is in place, it's 15 across. So since you can only drive on the right hand side, you're going to turn in. This right hand lane is going to be for dropping off and picking up people from the train station. This middle lane, which will actually be the left hand most lane, is going to be just for cars, so you can go straight through. And then I think what I'm going to do here is turn this into a cycle lane. Now, if I'm a car and I'm turning right to go into this lane, and this one is for pickups and drop-offs, that means you can't actually turn directly into it. So what I'm actually gonna do is protect it up to here for the pedestrians crossing the street. I'm gonna add a pedestrian crosswalk, and then maybe I'll add some greenery right here. Looks pretty good, little green spot. Ooh, and then also I can extend this down this way up to, let's see. So this is going to cut like this and then straight across like that. So I could probably bring it up at least another block. Maybe we'll experiment around with some materials for the bike lane. Just add a little bit of detail. I don't want to have this green paint all the way across because it is separated. And then actually, yeah, let me add some protection. All right. Okay, I'm kind of playing with patterns here, so I want to make this sort of continuous so that when you are on a bike coming in this way, this line is more solid and it sort of guides you in. I also need this arrow to tell you that it's a one-way street. Now we will continue to fill this in with some grass, and then we got to do something about this. Maybe if we move it 1 up and then we flip these stairs around. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Maybe we'll, actually, no, this looks okay right there. Yeah, let's keep this. Add a little foundation here. This needs a base, because right now it's just floating. So let's try something like this. But maybe instead we'll add some sea lanterns in there. And if I turn off my night vision, then this will provide a little bit of light from below, so you also get it from above, and I think at night it's gonna look pretty cool. It's also pretty dark in here, so I think I'm gonna add some lights hanging from the ceiling. I think that's too low. Maybe I'll raise it by 1. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now, of course, you don't want it hanging out, so let's add some covers. Finish it up on this side. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you're going to get some light that's headed upwards so that it'll illuminate the top. And since we have iron trapdoors on the bottom, it'll let some light down here as well. Now we will take this and copy it to the other side. Looks pretty good. And what do we have to do next? I think for now, I won't touch the back side of this, or maybe I'll bring this down. But I think it's time to add some greenery. A trick I use, if you have the same tree design and you don't want them to look completely identical, rotate them 90, 180, 270 degrees and then paste them in. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's get some other tree designs in here. And then we also need to add some grass and greenery along here. Okay, so I messed this up a little bit. Got to fix that. For the grass, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. You're going to have a little bit of grass, lots of ferns, and some of these purple alliums here. Alliums? I don't know how to say it. It is a little bit heavy. At some point, I'm probably going to go back and change it up. But for now, I think that's a good first impression for the greenery. Next up, I think it's time to add some tall pine trees. Now, I don't want to overdo it with the density, but I like to have clusters of trees, and then maybe for areas where you actually walk into the station, I'll keep them more clear. And then, since I don't want all of the pine trees to be the same height, we can do something like this. Now, all of these trees were made by Anna. She also developed the pack, so none of these trees are actually mine. I think it's looking pretty good. We'll take a walk along the sidewalk to see if there's any biome issues and if it overlaps with the station. Very nice, looks pretty good. Oop, did I screw this up? I definitely did. There we go. Okay, problem solved. I think it was that color. All right, so the front is done. The backside will need some work. You do have other entrances on this side, but for now, this area is not yet planned. So I think it's time for a tour. All right, welcome to the tour. So we are in Monstera-West, not technically part of Monstera, but if you go down that road far enough, then you will hit Monstera. And welcome to Royal Blue Station, built by Enolab. Now there's lots of entrances. There's a handful on this side, which are not yet integrated just because I pasted it in as you just watched. But the ones on this side work quite well because they're up against the sidewalk. Some ticketing stations, which I like, and lots of places to put your bikes. And then along the edge, you have some benches, some places to sit down if you don't want to take the train immediately. You want to sit down, you want to have a coffee, and you just want to relax and enjoy the scenery. Now let's go ahead and fly way down here. This is a drop-off zone, which originally was a little bit wider, but of course I just made some modifications. You have the bike lane with the protections right there, a one-way road, so you turn in from this road, cross here, and then if you want, you can come right here, drop off your passengers, say goodbye, and then they will go in the station. So you have your turnstiles, of course, and then you have your stairs up to the platform, and then you have your escalators as well, which I really appreciate when there's always escalators at a station. And of course, Enolab thinks of everything. So there are elevators, 2 right here, and I believe there's more this way, probably more on this end, but there, ooh, vending machines. I like that, good touch, good touch. Got to make some money, some places to sit down, but of course not too many. You have the original trains. I don't know if we're gonna end up keeping them. We might, who knows? And then you have more escalators here, more places to sit, some vending machines, and 2 more elevators on the end. That is pretty typical, especially here in Vancouver, to have elevators on the end. Usually they are much smaller stations than this, so they will typically only have 1, but for a station this size, it's good to have 4. This reminds me a little bit of the station in Chinatown here in Vancouver. Ooh, I like this. So you can tell which direction you're going. I'm a really big fan of the skylights. I love natural light, especially when you're at a train station. So it is semi-open air. You have a little bit of rain protection. Now that's the platform. So if we go down here, of course you have some greenery, some signs telling you which direction to go, depending on what you want to do. You have some ATMs, just in case. And here in Vancouver and a lot of other train stations in big cities, you will actually have places to sit down, and you do also have some shops. So this is, I guess this is the ticketing station, but if you come over here, if you're feeling like, hey, I want to buy an entire pie, and then you want to go on the train and eat it, then you can do that. Some hanging planters, that's always a very nice touch. Lots of light up top, and I really appreciate these patterns. It's very nice to have something like this where it's not super plain. Lots of different depths in the ceiling, which is nice, instead of just having it so it's flat. This is very, very well done. I do need to replace this, sorry, don't mind that. So we'll walk out here and take one last look around. Of course, it's important to have lots of greenery around, which is why I added all of these trees. Now in Monstera, we are about halfway up the island of Andia, so the trees start to transition from palms more into pine trees and more the big fluffy trees. Now I'm not sure if I will entirely keep all of this greenery. I may end up changing it at some point, but we do have Monstera-West, you have the train station, and then this way is financial. With this bridge, that is a work in progress. So that's it for this video. I think it's a... No. I'm gonna show you the actual inspiration for the train station before I go. It's not my car, we're going down that way. My name is Matt. I have a degree in architectural engineering. Special thanks to Eno for letting me put his train station in the city of Andia. And you're watching Alpine.